This is a bit of a different video, just I wanted to get my opinion out there on the PS5 Pro that's been unveiled, and the controversy that seems to be going around. It is no shock by now that the PS5 Pro the announcement didn't launch as well as Sony was hoping it was going to be. Now, on paper, it looks pretty good. Upgraded GPU, it's 67% more computing units than the current PS5. We have advanced ray tracing. They added more powerful ray tracing and dynamic reflections that the PS5 can't handle. AI upscaling, so the resolution looks better with an AI program, which is hit or miss. I'm not really a fan of AI type stuff. I don't really see the use, but it looked good for the showcase. It's a price point that a lot of people are having a lot of issues with, and quite honestly, I agree with them. Sony, you have lost your mind. Like, $699 for the PS5 Pro? Who is this supposed to be meant for? Who is the PS5 Pro supposed to, reel in with that price point? Considering, for one, the vertical stand is sold separately. The PS5 and PS5 Slim came with the vertical stand with it. So, if you want a stand, that's going to cost you an extra $30. Another big issue I have with this is the fact that it doesn't come with a disk drive. So, if you want a PS5 Pro that reads discs and has that stand, it's going to cost you $850 before tax. $850 for that. Now, I understand not a lot of people use the disc drive nowadays. Most people just download the games from the store. I understand that. I don't like where this is going personally, what these game companies are doing. Owning digital games is not owning the product like it is with a physical disc. Like, not even the physical discs have the whole game on it anymore. And they have shown they can take the games away you download digitally whenever they want. And then what? It's lost to history without piracy. But that's a topic for a different day. This price point, Sony, $700 for just the PS5 Pro. We're in a global recession right now. We are strong I wouldn't say strong, but we don't have the cash, basically, is what I'm trying to say. We don't have the cash to be spending $700 on a PS5 Pro. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people can't afford their rent, let alone the PS5 Pro. $700, that's a car payment, that's rent, that's a mortgage payment, that's savings to put away for a house. That's stuff if you have kids. And I really hate how nowadays everyone's big answer to, stuff when people have a problem with something is, this isn't meant for you. I do not like this. I do not like how that is the answer a lot of these PS5 fanboys are saying now is, this isn't meant for you. Who is it meant for? The ultra wealthy? Rich people that can afford this? I'm not going to be able to afford this on my salary. I make pretty decent money. I'm sure people that make a lot more money than I do, they're not going to be able to afford this. What is this upgrading? Honestly, who cares about upscaling something to look prettier? The PS5 in its base form, games already look gorgeous in my eyes, even if it's a 60 FPS downgrade with performance mode. It still looks really good. And it can hit 8K resolution. We can barely hit 4K resolution and have it look good. And like they said in the presentation, they're targeting up to 60 FPS, which means that you're spending $700 on a machine that can't even target 60 FPS consistently. I think, personally, much like Sony was back when they unveiled the PS3 for $599, they're high on the horses again. Sony thinks they're untouchable because of the PS4 and how well they did in that generation. And I don't like where this is going. I don't like that Sony is charging this much for an upgrade. A mid-gen upgrade that has no games to it. The first game that they unveiled for this PS5 Pro was The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 was a PS4 game that came out in 2020. Like, where's the new games to show off this performance power? You showed off The Last of Us Part 2. You showed off Spider-Man 2. You showed off Horizon Forbidden West. You showed off God of War Ragnarok. All PS4 titles. There was no like Assassin's Creed Shadows, GTA 6, something that could have benefited from this console's more power, the power that this console gives. A presentation like that, a quick gameplay trailer, something to show the power that this thing can do would have been better than showing a bunch of last gen games that already look really, really good on the base PS5. And like the base PS5, a base PS5 with a disc drive and the stand sells for $499, like $520 after tax in the US. Now I'm going off US prices. Like Europe's getting absolutely like screwed over by this. And euros, when we convert the price of the PS5 over in Europe to US dollars, it's 900 USD over in Europe for a PS5 before tax. $900 in Europe. Who can afford this, first of all, Sony? Second of all, again, who is this for? Really, honestly, why do we need more computing power when you haven't even utilized the base PS5's power yet? We have not seen what the base PS5 can do yet, let alone a mid-gen refresh. The PS6, I hope to God not, is going to be, releasing in another 2 to 3 years? So this mid-gen refresh that's supposed to build interest in your games, it doesn't. Like, this is not something I'm interested in. Now, if you're going to be ending up buying this thing for $700 because, you know, you're either like the specs or you have an 8K TV because you can afford that, I'm not knocking it. If you want to buy it, that's cool. But like, for $700, if you throw in another like $500, you can get a pretty decent PC that most of Sony's games are going to be coming to anyways. And like, most people that buy consoles, that's basically a budget PC for them because they can't afford to drop $1,500 to $3,000 on a PC that, mind you, can play any game imaginable with any controller configuration, any setting, anything you want through Steam. You can configure that to your heart's content. The configuration options are endless. That's why people buy consoles, so they can just pop in a game disc or click on one of their downloaded games and just play, because they don't want to fiddle around with, you know, configurations. That's not going to be a thing now with this PS5 Pro. Like, that price point, the fact that you're not throwing in a $30 plastic stand, that has to be sold separately. The fact that there's no disc drive to it, and someone like me, that most of my games are physical, I don't like where this is going. Which means Sony's going to want you to, all the games you have for your PS4 and 5, you're going to have to rebuy now. Which just makes Sony more money. And this is all this is. This is, honestly and honest to God, we know what this is. This is a cash grab. Personally, in my opinion, and this seems to be the opinion on a lot of subreddits, that Concord failed as a, you know, free to, well, no, it was a, $40 game. Yeah, that game flopped. And I think Sony's trying to regain some of the revenues because it spent like, what, 8 years in development, and it flopped. Astro Bot, a game that just released last week, sold more in a week than Concord did entirely. So Sony, I believe, is trying to recoup this loss. I'm over on, let's see, this is the PS5 subreddit. Here we go. And a lot of the comments, shoot, might as well include a DualSense Pro controller in every box. It's going to be a no-go for me, dog. You know, let's see. It's $920 with the disc drive. This is outrageous. Geez, just getting this to match launch PS5 disc drive vertical SIN. And after tax pricing, it's going to be $850. Really disappointed. It does not come with a disc drive like they should have done 600 digital and 700 disc drive models. I agree with that. I don't think they should be doing away with a disc drive, but we all know why they want everyone to go digital, because you're paying for a license. You're not paying for the actual game that you buy. I didn't know it was a 2 terabyte SSD. That's nice, but 800 is still so fucking steep. I agree with that. Not all you need to know. Also, if you want a disc drive, it's going to cost you another $80 since it doesn't come with it. Same disc drive that is currently sold for the PS5 Slim digital model. So the PS5 Pro with a disc drive is $780. Let's see the new PS5 boost functions can be used for some PS4 games, but doesn't even come with a drive for me to use my PS4 disc games. I agree with that. This would be more tempting if it came with a disc drive. Price killed my excitement. It killed my excitement too. Like, and you just go on and on. 800 fucking euros. Jesus Christ. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm pretty happy with the launch edition. Nah, I'm good. For 700, no disc drive with real no outstanding games getting improved. That comes to mind for that. For me, would justify the price range. Is going to be a tough sell. Yeah. It's going to be a tough sell. And like this just goes on and on and on and on. Right now, this is currently sitting at 4.7k comments. This is how mad everyone is right now. And it's on Twitter, because I'm not calling it X, it is Twitter. It's on Reddit. It's all over YouTube. You can scroll YouTube and just see. Sony, I don't understand what you're thinking. I don't understand the mindset behind this, but this is going to be a tough sell for a lot of people. This is not something that's going to fly off the shelves. It might in the future if it gets like a price drop or something, but I don't see this at launch selling really good. And it's quite convenient that they're selling it in November, a month before, you know, Christmas. Well, all these kids are going to be like, well, you know, they want one because it's new and cool. Nothing has changed with this. There's, other than the game boost to performance, which only has a limited number of games on the list right now. Let's see, some of them was like The Last of Us 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Jedi Survivor, Star Wars, what was it? I said The Last of Us 2 already. Like, most of the games that benefit from it are PS4 games. It's just, I don't personally see the point in this. And I'm really, really disappointed in Sony, and I suggest a lot of you guys, for now anyway, should probably start talking with your wallets instead. If you are not for this like I am, and you are against this price hike and just everything in general, I would start talking with your wallet, because they've raised PS Plus twice now. Games are $70 now. This thing's $700, not including a disc drive if you need one, or a plastic stand for it. Like, I don't understand these big tech companies right now and what they are doing. Like, the iPhone 16 just released. It is no different than the iPhone 15, and they're charging an arm and a leg for it. And Sony sees Apple doing this all the time. All these companies see Apple charging for the same thing every year. Now they're starting to follow suit. It seems like this is going to start the revolution of a lot of people moving to PC for gaming, which I'm slowly starting to do myself. Because this is just astronomically ridiculous. I do not like it, and I will not be buying this. Sony, you're not going to see this. I know you're not going to see this. Probably not a lot of people are going to see this. Listen to your fans. This is too expensive. We are in a recession right now. A lot of people are struggling to put food on the table. We can't afford this. And I'm a Sony fanboy. I love Sony. I love the PS5. I love the PS4. I love what Sony devs can do with games. This is not something I support. This is not something I would support with any game publisher, no matter if it's Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, anyone. This is an outrage. This is a scam. This is trying to swindle people out of money. And I'm not for it. And a lot of other people are not for it. And it's just one big disappointment after another so far with Sony. And I'm just disappointed. Anyways, comment down below what you guys think of the PS5. Let me know if I missed something that you think would make it worthwhile to buy. I don't foresee that, but who knows. Anyways, I've been UmbreonMoonlight. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and let's let Sony know that this is an outrage, and I don't know what they could do in the future with this. Anyways, hope you all have a good day. I'm signing out for now.